once a year when we have to do the annual census at work, you know, that thing you check where you have to indicate your race, I always have a little problem with that.
Once a year?
Yeah,
I thought it was once in 10 years.
once a year where I work. I always have a little problem with that, you know. White, a little bit. Black, a little bit. Hispanic, a little bit. Asian, a little bit. Well, so I check other, please explain. And here is my explanation. You may think you know all there is to tell from the freckled fairness of my skin by the dark depths of my black tresses when you hunt for the pupil in the iris of my eye, observe the manner of my dress by the New York dialect spoken, the way I say my dog and ferry, the quick pace of my street strut, the way I order black coffee and a bagel with just a smear of cream cheese. And when these observations are combined with a family name given, you may draw your own conclusion of my origin, forgetting white is not a color, but full spectrum. And I, like most Americans, descend from immigrants who fled from famine, war, and pogrom, in search of safe harbor to take root and raise their children, or came here locked in chains and stolen. You may think you know all there is to tell when you see the cinnamon complexion, the cinnamon color of my mother's complexion, the jet black shimmer of her hair and eyes, the bright red pout of lipstick, and hear in the Castellano now rarely spoken, the sound of castanets, the fast-footed tap of the flamenco dancer when she tells you of her pet pig, Leonora, trotting across the slate floor of the bedroom shared with her big sister. This room wallpapered with the Sunday comics, lit by lace-draped sunny windows, cooled by the noisy, rickety ceiling fan incessantly spinning. You may hear the screams of spectators at the bullfight as she mimics a pair of jay-green parrots hiding in the rafters, chortling curses at la futbolistas, the victorious beer-laden soccer players passing in the street below her window. Or hear the high-pitched cry of the condor, the winding whistle of the flute and panpipe of the Quichua when she recollects the rock candy her father brought home, bulging in his pockets in their brightly colored wrappers from his weekly trip to market, where the indigenous people come down from Andes Mountains to sell their wares. Or in the names of little towns dotting shorelines in the valley like Hippie-Hapa, Esmeraldas, Puerto Cayo, Puerto Lopez. You may hear mouths pounding the marimbas of the Afro-Ecuadorians, or the grunts of bent-back slaves working in the fields as she recalls a white-haired grandfather's plantation, gridded with rows of tobacco, corn, coffee, and cane, its silos and barns overflowing with beans and sugar, his wrinkled skin the color of roasted coffee leathered by the sun, the creak of his rocker upon the wooden slats of the porch, and the dozens of cousins of every shade and color running and playing all summer long in his orchards. Then she draws in your head a portrait of her father, soling shoes in his cobbler's shop for the village like his father's father did before him, in some village across the continent, across another ocean, in a land shaped like a boot. Then you see the square-cut, broad, brown faces of her two elder brothers already living in America. And remember, more than half the population of Ecuador is mestizo, and you may know that more than a little bit of the Mediterranean, the Amazon, and the Congo is flowing in my roots. And that's only my mother's side.